And hello fellow Techers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are in the French Tier 9 heavy tank AMX M151. Now in today's episode what we're gonna cover is how to increase your win rate when you necessarily haven't started the game really well, right? And that's what is going to happen here. I'm not gonna start the game really well. I'm gonna take wrong position, or I'm gonna make a bad decision, to be honest. And what to do when you find yourself in such situation. Now obviously if you have, or if you're in very heavily armored heavy tank that doesn't have much mobility, some of these plays might not work out, because obviously you won't have mobility to relocate, move from one position to another. But if you have reasonably mobile tank, it's all about decision making. It's all about, you know, how can I get myself out of this situation in order to make something, salvage the game, right? And I find myself many times in such situations. So I'm going to try to present few games like that to you guys in the future that are not going to be necessarily extremely high damage, but they're going to be basically games where I have to make a decision, where I have to figure out, okay, what do I do next, right? Now, before we actually go there, a lot of you guys are asking me to make more videos, make more content. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. First of all, I don't have time to make more videos than 2 or 3 maximum per week. First, I don't play a game enough. Second, I have too many things on the go. I work full time, plus I have my own other hobbies to take care of, plus sports have started, right? Baseball's back, hockey's back, basketball's back. So yeah, it's not going to be easy during the summer. Maybe once we hit the winter months I'll be able to do that, but yeah, you guys gonna have to be patient with that, unfortunately. Anyway, as you noticed here, because I'm a top tier heavy, I went to the side that's weak, and I thought, you know what, if I get myself in a position where I can support some of my friendlies, I can help them get out of this situation, right? I have some armor, I have pretty decent gun, I can do this. But unfortunately, the position I'm in, I don't have any shots, and these guys are dipping below the ridge line, and I really have no shots at these guys. At the same time, I'm getting hit from behind. So I already figured this is bad location to be in. This is a bad spot, and I'm screwed. So I gotta do whatever's in my power to get out of this situation right now and use my mobility and get myself on the side of the map that my friendlies are actually winning. And at this time, I know that, you know, someone's gonna hit me in the ass. Probably it's going to happen sooner rather than later, but I decided to make that play anyway. I'm gonna cut across. Even if I lose half of my HP, I'm not gonna throw my tank away, and I'll be still in the fight, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I wasn't spotted for a bit, but here I got respotted again. So that tank that is currently at, what is it, G4, is gonna put shots into me. But it was the Russian heavy, tier 9 Russian heavy. I can't remember which one it was, but it wasn't the one with accurate guns. So I was like, okay, you know, he's not gonna hit me, yet he did hit me. But at the same time, even though I lost half of my HP, I found myself together with my friendlies. So now I can actually help to push this side of the map. And that's probably what I should have done initially. But in some cases, when I'm a top tier, I like to protect the weak flank, because first of all, sometimes it's very rewarding. Second of all, and you can get quite a bit of damage when you do that. Second of all, sometimes that's what you need. You need to have your top tier heavy on the weak side in order to support. Obviously, it's always safer to go on a strong side with your team, but sometimes that's not my thinking. So in this case, that's exactly what I did. I dropped to my friendlies, and at this point in time now, we can clean up this side of the map. And if we can clean this side of the map, we will be able to focus on the other side later. So as you can see, we kind of got it right into the fight right here. We started putting shells into these guys, and I'm facing a bunch of T8s here, so it's not really a problem. That T30 was the biggest threat. Now we're gonna try to poke around the hill over here and see if we have shots at this AT-15. And with this tank, if you poke only with your turret, especially if you use your gun depression, you're gonna do a lot of good, because this tank is a really good tank as long as you play it right, especially hold down. Now that big cupola is problematic, but if you have your max gun depression, it's actually hard to hit. Now, in this situation, why didn't I go after AT-15? Why go after AT-15? He's basically isolated. He's stuck behind a hill. He's got RD support. There's no point for me to go on after him. At the same time, the guys that were in the middle of the map, those two objects, that's what it was, Object 257s. They came right in the middle, started engaging us. That was a cheeky shot in the top of his turret right there. So we're gonna try to hit this crossing M103, but our reload is not completed, and then all of a sudden we see this Object 704, but yeah, we can't hit him. So he's gonna back out, and as you can see, we're playing it hold down at this point in time. Now, majority of my team has fallen, and as you can see, there isn't too many of us left on this side of the map, and those Object 257s are gonna be problematic. So I've loaded APCR rounds for these guys, because you know, like, usually when it's closing time like this and you really have to carry, you need to make sure you pen your shots, and I've stated that in many of my videos. You gotta make sure you pen your shots, and in order to pen your shots, you gotta load premium. And in many cases I don't use premium, but in situations like this I will. Now, this Object 257, I decided to disengage, just make him forget. I wanted to come out here and show him that I'm dropping, right? That's all it was. But this T-54 went completely the other way. Instead of dropping with me, he went and started engaging whoever is on this side of the map here. So I'm gonna have to use this as a distraction, because they're paying attention to him, and I'm gonna try to put some shells into this object. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna come over the top here, we're gonna put a shell into him right there. Now, the key play here, there's only two of us remaining, myself and the Standard B. The key play here is Standard B taking very good position. Where he is right now, he provides the crossfire. So these guys cannot really go after me, because that guy is putting shells into him. Now, Artie has hard shot at me as well, because I'm behind the ridge. So it's difficult shot for Artie as well. So both of us have really good positions, and I'm taking advantage of my position, as well as Standard B is taking advantage of his position. Now, Artie manages to hit me here, but I do have my repair kit, so we're gonna repair quickly, and we're gonna drop here. And I wanted to see at this point in time if this object's actually gonna try to push me. If he were to push me, Standard B was gonna put shells into him, but I don't know how he finds that shot. That was very narrow shot. I was just kind of baiting him to shoot, and he hit me in the lower plate. So now I'm potentially one shot to both of these guys, right? At 440 alpha, Object 257 easy should be able to, you know, take me out of the game, and you never know. So you got to pay attention to that. So I'm gonna approach this really cautious. Now I realize that Object 257 is dropping. He wants me to come in into his RD support, right? Because his RD was kind of on that side, but I'm not gonna overexpose completely. I'm gonna try to still get shots into him, but still a difficult shot for RD right there. Now, I noticed my Standard B is moving up, so I still wanted to I still want to push this object, right? I still want to push him, but I don't want to overexpose, because if I overexpose, obviously he's gonna take me out of the game. So I'm gonna try to get him to miss that shot. He does, and he bounces, so now I can come out and I can hit him right there. Already misses as well, so it always comes down to a little bit of luck. But at this point in time, I noticed my Standard B going all the way around, so I disengaged. There's no point risking my tank at this point in time. He takes out the Object 257, because Object 257 wasn't expecting him, and now he goes around and takes out the AT-15, and just like that, we should be able to clean this game up. Now, great play by Standard B. He was the guy that was providing crossfire. He played it really well. Actually, the result he's gonna get in Standard B, it's actually not easy to achieve, because if you ever played Standard B, that tank is shit. I mean, it's nice, it has nice mobility, it has nice view range, but the gun is absolutely horrible. And that reload, I mean, I don't understand why Wargaming still hasn't buffed the Italian tanks, because they're absolutely horrible to play. Anyway, Standard B shows me where the RD is, so he knows where the RD is. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was thinking to myself, okay, you know what? I was gonna go with him, but if he's going after the RD, I'm like, what if RD starts to run off and starts moving towards our base? Last thing I want to do is get capped out. We had a decent game, we're winning this game, and I don't want to throw it. And on the big map like this, it happened to me before that I got capped out because I took the wrong turn. Although, with this tank, I would probably get in a position regardless. But I decided to cut the RD off if he decides to go towards our cap. Now, unfortunately, RD didn't move at all. Stayed in the same position. Well, if that's the situation, I'm gonna have to start going in that direction, and I'm gonna try to support my medium tank. And I don't know what the hell happened here. It looks like Standard B was reloaded. He puts a shell into the RD, and then he's running off, it seems. And RD hits him for 619, then he drops off the cliff. I was like, oh shit, that's not good, because by the time I get to the RD, he'll be reloaded, and he could potentially take me out of the game. And my history with RD, guys, especially one-on-one history with RD, is not the best. I mean, I don't know why, but RD always gets better RNG than me, so I was a little bit concerned over here. But still, I have a tank with good armor. He's gonna have to aim that shot up and hit me in the front and splash me for over 400. It's gonna be difficult anyway, but RD shows up here. He has a shot, and he took the shot before me, but he didn't have time to aim, so he basically skied it, and we take him out of the game. So, just like with any very close game, you need a little bit of luck, and that's what happened here. Luck was a little bit on my side, but the point of this whole video is the fact that you can always salvage the game. If you have a little bit of mobility in your tank, you can try to salvage the game. It's not gonna happen every time, but if you try, you will, and you will not be throwing your tank away, and you can still make something out of the game. As you can see, Standard B had fantastic game, 4.5k damage, 1500 base XP. Too bad that he died at the end of the game, but we supported him really well. We finished with 1488 base XP. Not a bad game, not spectacular, but not a bad game in AMX M451. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit checking out.